In this tool bag is everything you need to start out as an apartment maintenance tech and then some. I'm going to go over the basics and then get into the and then some. And I'm going to try to explain everything the best I can. So let's just dive right into it. It's going to be a longer video. First thing, starting off with apartment maintenance, is figuring out where they make their, or where the hardest work is so you can earn more. I live in the Northeast. You know, I know a lot of maintenance guys I talk to down south. They're into HVAC. That raises your paycheck. You learn that. Where I worked was, you know, window AC units, mostly replacing them, or you get the, you know, people that don't change their filters for 20 years and freeze them up, or you get a clogged drain on the through the block building type air conditioners. You have boilers, you know, thermocouplers, cleaning out burners, recirculating pumps, you know, impellers and all that stuff. Radiators, replacing the valves on that. So getting into black pipes. So I did a lot of plumbing, a lot of shower controls. We had the old style 3 handle. We went to the single with the retrofit chrome. But what I'm getting at is I didn't have HVAC, so I did remodels. I was good at remodels and on top of the maintenance. But this pack is assuming you're fresh, you're green, you're just getting into it, you have a can-do attitude. These are the hand tools that you'll want. This is the first bag I started out with. It's an Ultra Steel from Walmart. I don't remember how much I paid for it. Now it's my at-home bag. Still holding up pretty well, but you don't need something fancy to start off. I now currently have a Vito Pro pack that I use, and that's where all my everyday tools are, and a lot of them, you know, some are expensive, some are inexpensive. But start off with screwdrivers. You just really need a flathead slotted and a Phillips number 2. These are Cobalt. You want a nice 11-in-1. This is a Work Pro. I just picked this up. It's got nut drivers, Robertson bits, all different size nut drivers, Robertson bits, Torx bits. One thing, there's no perfect pack, and redundancy is a pretty good thing to have in your bag. And I'll explain why. This ratcheting screwdriver by ML Tools, it's a very nice screwdriver to have. This is a luxury, I would say. What I would use this for, this is like my third one, door handles and stuff. Just, you want to be gentle with those. You could use a drill, torque it down really, really low, but I like to have, there's some things that are just, you want your hand feel on it to see if you're over tightening things. So those are those screwdrivers. And then important ones to have also are just some typical beater ones. Now this is just a Phillips, but this flathead, you could beat on it. I bought a set. These were at Ross's for like $7 a big set. I actually also just got these at Ross's. It was like a 7-pack or something. They are literally beaters. I think these were $7. And then a long flathead. They just come in handy, and it's nice to have one of these. What I'd mostly use this for, though, are for the water temperature valves on some of the boilers, stuff like that. So that's your screwdrivers. A bonus that you don't need, because I don't think they'll have you start off, but it's not bad to pick up a pair of electrical screwdrivers just to give you that safety. But like I said, if you're just starting out, that's not a necessity, but they are cheap enough to pick up. Um, just a typical tape measure. Stanley power locks, can't go wrong with those. Little torpedo level, doesn't really matter. I can say I bought a 2-pack of these Craftsman ones at Lowe's and they are junk. Probably just gonna throw them away, but you can get like this or a little heavier duty like this. Empire usually has nice ones on sale. It's nice to have a file. You know, you never know when you have to just shave a little off of something. You know, for maybe a faucet or whatever, it just comes in handy to have a file to grit away at something. Now this isn't packed with anything in particular, but usually I would have, you know, different types of anchors and, you know, probably electrical connectors and stuff like that, self-tapping screws. But it's nice to get a little case like this to carry screws and stuff. And I will say also, if you're replacing stuff there that's old, but you know that you have more of them, like an old fridge or stove or air conditioning unit, take the knobs off, take everything off, save them, because they might come in handy further down the line. Hammer, I will always say the Stanley Wonder Bar is a wonderful tool to have. I have a bunch of these also, these Dasco Pros. Very good with, you know, taking off trim if you have to replace some trim or a quarter round or something like that. They get in there well, USA made. This is a crescent hammer, you know, nothing special. I have a bunch of different style hammers. That's one I had laying around. And now, as for the redundancy part, you know, something like a little pick like this, or even like this, just if you have to pull up a nail, sometimes there's nails or staples just in weird spots. This Tekton pry bar got a lot of good use in apartment maintenance. I don't use it that much anymore. But these are not necessities. I would say these are necessities right here. Okay. I actually picked these up today for like $5 at Walmart because I don't have a good pair to beat on. Hyper Tough wood chisels. They always come in handy in apartment maintenance for doing like doing new lock sets or something. Bunch of different things. Knock some extra paint off the door. You know, they have a tendency to put a bunch of paint on the doors. And then you get into knives and stuff. I'm going to show you a few different flavors. Again, this is my redundancy. So I really like these Huskies. You know, they have a nice big body. I have a video on my Instagram about the Milwaukee Fastback, and it would literally unlock and like close and stuff. It could have been just mine was faulty, but I like these. They got the blade storage right here. You can fit like 5 blades in there. There's also this style if you like a smaller flip type, you know, a little smaller footprint. Again, it has blade storage here in the handle that pops up. Get like 4 or 5 blades in there. This isn't part of the kit, but you want to have a good knife like this to take around. Definitely want a scraper, anything you got to scrape off windows or, you know, bathroom floors, tile floors. they come in handy. And then also just having that scraper, you have these blades that you can use to peel stuff off of whatever. Box cutter, again, it's the redundancy. You have it in there. If you forget one of these, which is bound to happen, you still have a means of scraping off something if you need to. And same with goes for the you know, your typical knife. You can always take the blade out. And scrape away. So again, redundancy, I would say though, honestly, these two are a must in the kit. This is optional, you know, whatever you want to do. And then the knife I like, so people will judge me and hate me for this, but cut a piece of Romex. I like these snap-off knives. Go right down the middle there. Peeled apart. Wires are fine. Try to go along the copper. Obviously I stripped the copper out of this one because I'm poor. But I kind of like these ones. This is a cheap Hyper Tough one, but they cut really good for that. A pipe wrench. Now, I got away with just having this one. This is an 8-inch Lenox. I guess it's what, cast. Works just fine, but these aluminum ones have come down in price and they're so much lighter. Now, my go-to, I have a 12-inch aluminum Lenox. You know, I've had it for 8 or 10 years now, but this Crescent's not too bad. It's aluminum, gets the job done. You never know when you'll need them. Also, I did not use it frequently, but they do come in handy. You get a big 12-inch adjustable wrench. I would say you don't need that to start, but you will need a 6 and 8-inch adjustable wrench, which I don't have mine on me right now because I'm stupid. But just picture a actually, you know, here's a Husky 8-inch. Again, you don't have to buy, you know, the best. This is an older Husky, but like 8-inch, and then a 6-inch one will be about this big. And one important thing to note is the smooth jaws. All right, so like I have a pair of pliers, Knipex. I have two now that have smooth jaws, and I use that for like water shutoffs or any types of pipes, because you know I see a lot of guys go up, use this just to crank down on it, and you got all these teeth and it's just makes it gnarly. This keeps your work clean. So adjustable wrenches, very important. Good pair of pliers. All right, these Crescents have been really nice. They've held up well. If you work on the shower type that I had, sometimes you'd use a puller. Now this is something I feel like if you have that type, the properties should have this, you know, already in their inventory for you to use. But this is you're going to be getting into, you know, cleaning out, unclogging drains, you know, reseating toilet wax rings, stuff like that. Shower control valves will probably come a little later, but this is to get the handles off. And sometimes this just doesn't work, and these are nice. They have this you know, soft handles, but you can put this and just pull back hard. Usually that pops it off, but you want a good pair of pliers, and I've really enjoyed these Crescent ones. I use Knipex, but Crescent's not a bad way to go. Channel lock, any of those, they should last you a long time. Pretty much all these hand tools will last you a long time. I brought these out. These aren't a necessity, but these are Hyper Tough. You know, I use them as nail pullers. Some of those old trim nails are just a pain in the butt to get out, and these pinch and they have a nice curve to lift them up out. A tool that I think your company should provide also, but if they don't, you can get it, is this, and basically it's a sink wrench. You can go up and take the water supply lines off, and then pull this side out, and then these rigids here are to get that nut off the sink if you're replacing a sink. And then you can use this to stick in a sink to wrench it off. And I do have a sink wrench somewhere around here, a basin wrench, which again is something I feel like the company should supply to you. They you know, those are common tools, and I can't seem to find the fucking basin wrench. I do have one here. Hold on one second. Sorry about this. Boom. So, goes under the sink. Take the basket strainers out. Another tool, you know, like I said, I worked on radiators and boilers and stuff. These Crescent pipe self-adjusting, you know, pipe wrench for black pipe, really nice. I like them a lot. Not a necessity though. Again, that's just something you have to figure out. But everything on this table right now, in front of me, necessity. Good pair of Allen wrenches. You know, these are just Husky brand. You can get whatever. I have a Hart brand that's not too bad. And they hold up pretty well. And you want the longer style. But for redundancy, you can also get, you know, a set of these just to have if you want. But again, if you're just starting out, this is basics. The other thing too, this is a full-size hacksaw. My little one's in my work van, but a small hacksaw. Or I have a Lennox. It's like a hand recip saw. Works pretty good. Also, if you're fresh, you're going to be doing a lot of caulking. Though your company should have caulking guns, but I like the ratcheting style. This HDX one is done well for me. This I just picked up. This is supposed to be dripless, if I could speak. It works well too. But this HDX one, I have no problems with. And I like the ratcheting ones a lot better. They're a lot sturdier. Okay, getting back into what's in the bag. Depending on your apartment, so my apartments were all plaster and wood and lathe behind it. Metal lathe. So this is pointless for me. But now in my new job, you know, a jab saw is nice. Exploratory holes. I have all drywall. Before I needed an oscillating tool. Here's the redundancy keys there. So if you have drywall though, I would say that's a must. Magnetic pickup tool. You'll buy these by the bulk. Go to Walmart or wherever and buy 3 cheap ones, because guaranteed you're going to bend it and flex it and do all kinds of weird things with it. And it'll definitely come in handy. Magnetic pickup tool. Vice grips. I say both needle nose and your standard. For my shower control valves, the 3 ones, what I would do most of the time is stick this and get it locked on the handle, and then I'd stick this pair onto these, and then I'd be able to most of the time pop them loose. They do have keys for that, plumber's keys, but a lot of times those crack. And I did end up buying, I think they're 1 5/8" or something. I bought a ratcheting Husky wrench. Sometimes I'd be able to get that on, made it easy. Sometimes a socket would fit on. I bought big sockets, deep. But you get those off, you're changing the seats. I bought this for like $5 off of Amazon. And if you have to change the seat out or whatever. Again, this is something though that your company should probably provide. But it's nice. It's like a ratcheting. You stick it in there and you can ratchet the seats out, and they have all different sizes and stuff. And it worked really well, but that's not a necessity, but that's what that's for. If you're working on boilers, temp gun, this is just the Ryobi. They are fairly expensive no matter what you buy. If you want a smaller footprint one, this General, I think they might still have it. But this would be to, like, if you have a radiator, it's not working, and you've bled it, you can go through the fins and see if there's maybe a blockage, you know. That only happened twice, and if you also work on boilers, you're going to want a flex lighter. They come in handy for, you know, relighting the thermocouplers and stuff like that. And another thing your company should have, I know you can use soapy water, but this Snoop liquid leak detector is awesome stuff. I really like it. Works well. You just spray it on. Easy to go. Again, it's not something I don't think you should buy. I think the company should buy. Good pair of scissors never hurts. You know, honestly, like, blinds will be something that you'll cut also. I have a Ryobi 8 1/4 inch cordless miter saw, and I would just put a really fine blade on it and just, you know, chop the blinds down to what we need them to. If I didn't have that, I would take a hacksaw or something with me. Like, that would be something where, like, if I'm going up to an apartment to change blinds, I would take my little mini hacksaw, and you just hold the blind, you know, mark how much you have to take off, hold it all together, and then just go down. And you usually get a nice clean cut. This is a screening tool. This is something, again, companies should provide, but something that will help you out is to get a tape measure like this. This is a 6 foot. I got a 3-pack of these for like $5 off Amazon, but they're small enough to go on the inside of the track to measure screens out when you have to make a new screen and rescreen stuff. Chip brush is always nice to keep with you. Yeah, if you gotta dust something off or clean something up. I'd say like a small can of window cleaner. Also, taking sinks off, spray it down, clean up underneath. Good to go there. And speaking of sinks, you want like a little pick set for O-rings and stuff. These really won't do much, but this one, you know, gets in there. O-rings, I would say this is a necessity. Take that off the pile. Again, here are the necessities. For electrical tools, buy a nice pair of linesman pliers. These are Klein. I'd also suggest, though, get one with the crimper built in. It's just nice to have that added feature. A pair of dikes, pair of needle nose, and pair of Klein wire strippers. I'd go with Klein, but you know, if you're on a budget, Commercial Electric makes good stuff. I had a pair of Commercial Electric dikes that are linesman pliers that were just, I thought they were better than these. And I'm pretty sure I left them up on a roof there. I don't think they're going to dig you into electrical too much right off the bat. Like I said, you're going to be cleaning up around the property, unclogging stuff, resetting toilets, garbage disposals, you know, but you might get in. You want to have these tools because that way you have them and you can jump into just learning stuff. And on top of those electrical tools, whoop, I just dropped that too. Well, anyways, that was a Walmart brand GFCI receptacle tester. You want one of these with the GFCI button because you're going to be working with those. That pops them. And then in terms of like, so I have Milwaukee lights, but like this was a cheap one off of Amazon. You know, stick under a sink or something. Again, this was another cheap one, but not a bad option. This is an Everbright flashlight that's actually, you know, really bright. And then the Southwire detector has not a bad light on the back. It's a non-contact voltage tester to let you know if something's live or not. I would say this and this are necessities to start off, just to learn. And I'd also throw in, so this is for a future giveaway, but one of these voltage testers here is very nice. It just lets you know quickly what type of voltage you're working with, and it's convenient. And then this is the meter that I use, clamp meter. It's nice. I'm not great with meters. I also would say get a pair of alligator clips because they're just easier to work with. And alligator clips are they're just what they sound like. They're test leads, but at the ends they have clips, so you could just clip them on the wire. This is a K-Weets digital multimeter. Came with an extra fuse, and it's I just put 2 new batteries in it. It's 3 volt. You turn it on. I just changed the batteries in it. There we go. Turn it on. Has a button here, so it has a backlight to it, and it has auto detect, so it'll detect automatically what you're trying to find. It also has a little Let's see if I get flashlight on the back. This is like, I think it's like 20 bucks on Amazon. Comes with a little carrier. Not a bad kit. Even if you don't know how to use it, it's something where it just comes in handy. Like even the simplest things, checking for continuity. Small things like that. Also, the picks come in handy for ovens and stuff, cleaning gas burners, little pilot holes and stuff. Or you could take a paper clip. You don't need a multimeter. I'd say you definitely need these, but I would get one. Even if it's an inexpensive one, they're just handy to have. My buildings don't have many wood studs. It's mostly metal, so I have a stud finder that detects all that. But this is just a cheapo Black & Decker, but this one for my house and stuff has been solid. It's been very accurate. So, like, again, learn your building, understand what's behind the walls, and, you know, a simple stud finder like this works perfectly. So if you do have wood studs, I highly recommend a stud finder. Getting into two last things, well, just in tools, a little, you know, flathead, kind of use it as a pry bar, pick, you know, whatever. This little pen lights are nice to have also. And then these again aren't necessities here, but you're going to want to carry, you know, thread tape. And then when you get into more electrical stuff, it's good to have like different colors tape. This is Scotch Super 33 Plus, I think. But you could buy like a 6-pack roll with all different colors, and it's nice if you're doing like a 3-way or 4-way switch or whatever. You can mark those different wires once you figure out where they're routing to, if you get what I mean. I'm not an electrician. I can't speak that lingo, but you get there. Stuff, necessities, all right there. Now, in terms of tools, there were power tools that I started out with, and we're just going to make some room right here. I took my own tools in from work, and they are just old Ryobi Impact, and I mean these things are still working. Old drill, Ryobi drill. I had the light, you know. This light, it's not great, but it works. It rotates. You can set it down, get into spots. You've seen me tear apart this Impact. Still works great. Still use it around the house. Same with this drill. And then, you know, this was the hammer drill I had. Now, I will say, I'll always advocate to start off with Ryobi. It's a good brand. You know, and they have so many deals on the tools. And I'll go more in depth to my Ryobi tools. But, like, basically, I mean, every year there's like 3 or 4 times a year where you're getting free batteries or free tools, free chargers, whatever, so you can build up your collection pretty quick. Now obviously my first thing was this drill, this, the circ saw, and the flashlight. So I had those in. I bought the Impact, you know. Then just another thing, the one-handed recip saw I recently just upgraded to. I really like it, works well. These are things that you don't need to have. If you were to start off with one tool though, you know, the great debate is, a lot of people will say Impact. I like a drill, a hammer drill. It, you know, does basically everything you need it to do. Hammers, screws, drills, got power. So that's where I stand in terms of power tools. You don't need more than one, but I would say, you know, I'm big into 12 volts. You could go to Walmart and pick these up for under $100. Impact and just a regular drill, but I really think you need the hammer drill is important, or at least it has been in my past experience. A headlamp down the line, they're nice if you're doing overhead lighting or whatever. Now in terms of drill bits and stuff, like I've bought in so many packs. Alright, so like I have these little Work Pro ones and they're a little misorganized, but put a bunch of different bits in there and they're magnetic and you got bit holders, but like here's all my leftover bits and stuff. One last tool is a nail set. Definitely comes in handy. I just picked those up today. But basically you're gonna, you know, go through these and eventually one day look at it and go, where'd all my stuff go? And then you can load them up how you want to. You can put different drill bits here, here, here. You know, you can make these cases whatever you want to make them. So never throw away drill bits. I keep the cheap of the cheap. When you do buy tools, eventually these are a must. If you get an Impact, I lost mine. I don't know where I put these. I found them a few days ago and then I lost them again. But this thing comes in real handy, and so does this swivel socket. It has a 20 degrees swivel and then it can lock in as a straight. So you can get a pouch like this, you know, and you can keep certain bits in. This little Hyper Tough, it's a security bit case. So it comes, it was $5. Comes with all these security bits. I do think this is a must-have. There's $6. Security bits come in handy. But like in here, you know, you got different SDS and regular, and then drywall, and I got sockets. These sockets do come in handy in a pinch. They're not a bad thing to have. So that's all the hand tools and stuff, and that's basically should cover you for whatever you're getting into. Now, like I said, you know, eventually one day you're going to go, oh, I have a fridge that's not working. So you're going to take your multi-tool screwdriver, or a fridge that's not cooling, right? So take that, you got bits covered. Take your heat gun, maybe take up your chip brush, bunch of towels, and you're going to take the back panel off of the freezer, empty everything out, take the back panel off. And you're just going to run the heat gun, de-ice the coil, you know, just stuff like that. You're going to have a tool bag, but then you're going to find like this, or like even like these little, you know, a little Gorilla bag like this, and you're just going to instinctively know what you need for jobs and throw them in there. And like, you know, there would be times where I'd have like 16 work orders in the day, and I would just boom, boom, boom. You know, I knew what tools I needed, throw them in a small pack, especially when you're doing a lot of steps. You want to be a little light. Here's a few more things very important that you do need. I like to keep a little square and then a little combination square also. So I mean, you have a level if you need it. That's the redundancy. And a scribe and all that. Like, they come in handy. Here's a nail set. I'll put this back together once I have more patience, which would be right now. I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this video. And then, last but not least, offset wrench for. This is for garbage disposals. Unjam them. And then I like to have regular pencil, carpenter's pencil. Again, ink, Inksol, liquid paint, you know, to date things on pumps and stuff. And then I do like the Inksols over the Sharpies. They do right through anything. Solid product, so those are important to have. That pretty much covers it. Thank you for watching. If you have pedestal sinks, last thing, get a cordless one of these sons of guns, and you can buy these bits, and it makes it really simple to just, like, I have, you know, the different socket sizes that it would have, or you got the flat heads and the Phillips heads and stuff, and they just get up in there. You can pop them off in a few seconds. Also, these Crescent and or Husky, I have both. This is a great speed square because it goes 6-inch to 12-inch. Nice to rip cuts with the circ saw. And that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Click, share, like, subscribe, and catch you on the next one. Later.